Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. Not exactly sure what time it is, but I'm just sitting out in the garage, letting this sun bless me. It is hot today, but just something interesting I listened to that I wanted to share with you guys. I listened to a guru on YouTube. His name is Sadhguru, and he talks about some very deep topics on a spiritual nature, and just like being the master of who you are and learning how to control your body and create, you know, a good experience or a worthwhile wild experience on earth, while you're here because you're only here for like the blink of an eye. And he was talking about today about how it took millions and millions and millions of years for our bodies and our minds to evolve. And one of the greatest aspects of our mentality is that we have a great memory and a great imagination. But in having that great memory or that great imagination, we can also create turmoil in our lives because we can't do anything about the past or the future. We only can live in the present. So when we use our memory, for good to serve us, it advances us in life, helps us to get through tough times and stuff like that. But it can also be our enemy. You know, like us constantly worrying about things that we can't change. I mean, it's the past, it's already happened. That moment doesn't exist no more. You're in the present now, and there's nothing you can do about it. And same likewise for the future. The future can hold a lot of promise. It can make you optimistic, and it can be something that you look forward to. But also, it can create anxiety, and it can make you really worried, really tense because you're worried about the things that may happen in the future. Um, so basically, he was saying, just be present. Just live in the present, be present, and because that's all that we can affect, and that's the only moment that we have in life is the present. We don't have the past, we don't have the future, we just have the present. So we just need to thrive and live in the present and try to create as best of an existence as we can in this present moment by controlling, our mind instead of letting it wander on the past or look towards the future in a way that's negative. He also talked about creating, instead of waiting till you die to go to heaven, trying to create that experience here on earth. Um, and the manner he was talking about doing it in was by controlling who you are, mentally, spiritually, and physically, creating that balance that I've talked about before. And through that balance, you're going to create, an experience on this earth while you're alive that's going to be worth living, as opposed to waiting to die and hoping that you obtain something that's better on the other side. Um, I don't know what's on the other side. Um, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of beliefs about what's on the other side, but it makes a lot of sense to me. Like, why not create an existence, right now while you have the time and the capability that is worthwhile living, instead of, kind of drudging through life and then, hoping that when you die it gets better, and we don't really know what's on the other side. We can only hope and have faith, what's on the other side, but we honestly just don't know. Um, and that's a real big thing. I feel is pressing our society, amongst other things. Like right now is a very turbulent time in the history of the world, and I'm sure there's been other turbulent times. Um, but just in my short lifespan on this planet, it has been one of the most turbulent times I can remember being a part of. And I think now more than ever, um, we really need to be in touch with who we are and in control of our emotions, our mentality, and our spirituality. We need to be grounded because we need to be balanced because like when these things happen to us one after another, people die, have corona. On top of that, we got the hurricane that's coming in, and who knows what else 2020 is holding. But all of this stuff just happening one after another after another. It's kind of like there's one time when I went too far out into the ocean, and when I was trying to get my balance or get some stability, tread or whatever, the waves would hit me, send me under, and then when I would come back up and kind of get my composure, the wave would hit me again. I really couldn't get, where I felt I needed to be comfortable. And that's kind of what 2020 feels like. It just kind of feels like wave after wave after wave just crashing on you, and just making things more and more and more difficult. Um, but just like I always say, the one constant in every problem in every situation is you, and in your problems in your situations is you. So the one thing I could control when I was out in the ocean for that swim was my reaction to what was happening. And instead of panicking, I mean, I was a little scared, but instead of panicking, I just kind of gathered myself and came up with a plan, and I made it out alive. I'm here today. So we just need to focus. Focus. Constantly try to better ourselves. Constantly try to expand our views. Not be so closed-minded. Be objective. Constantly review the things that we are hearing. We're seeing. What people are saying, and not just taking things on a surface level. We need to look a whole lot deeper, and that's with everything. That's one of the most that's the most important thing I learned from college. The subject matter, I kind of got a lot of that in the military, but the most important thing I learned was how to be critical of information and to try to dig deeper and find supporting information or information that you can use to negate the information you found. Just be critical about the type of research and stuff that you subscribe to, because you don't know the depth of that information. On surface level, it might look like something that you support, but when you dive deeper into it, it may very well be something aimed in a totally different direction. Um, and media is definitely good for that. If you don't already know, media is very, very one-sided, and they always share bad news, rarely good news. So it always seems like the world's gonna end, but you know, it's life. It's life. So adapt, overcome, and achieve. That's the mantra. Adapt, overcome, and achieve. Let's get it, y'all.